to So What If I Sew, or welcome if you're new, and most importantly, welcome to day one of the Sew New in June challenge, which is celebrating my first year of my account. How quickly has that gone? Oh my goodness. It is a year to the day since I decided to take the plunge and join the online sewing community and share my sewing with a wider audience. And I'll be honest, I knew there was a sewing community because I'd been to workshops at the new craft house, for example. So I knew there was a community out there, but I had no idea how big the community was, how passionate, how driven, how friendly, how open the community would be. And I am delighted to be a part of that community. I'm loving it, and thank you to the nearly 2,000 of you that follow me on here, which is still baffling to me, and the over 3,000 that follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much, it's great. And I really, really look forward to what we're going to do together in the coming years. So, the Sew New in June challenge, where did it come from? It came from a realisation of how much I've grown as a sewist in the last year, and how much I have learnt, and how many things I would never have done if I hadn't been part of this wonderful online community and seen other people, you know, who've introduced me to new patterns or tried techniques, or I mean other people genuinely like just looking at people's Instagram accounts and realising I'm allowed to hack patterns, you don't have to make them exactly to the letter. Things like that really empowered me to be a better sewist. So I wanted to create a little week-long challenge that would encourage us all to step out of our comfort zone. Whether that's sewing with fabric we've never dared to use, sewing patterns we've traditionally been told we can't by ready to wear fashion. I know I have a list of patterns for garments that I've never been able to buy. Or trying techniques, whether that's putting in an invisible zip you've always been too scared to do, trying French seams, trying different types of zip closures or buttons, buttonholes, anything you've not managed to muster up the courage to do. This is the week to do it. This is the week to have a go. So the premise is, I've put an infographic on the screen for you here. The premise is that this week we're going to sew a garment together, and each day we're going to focus on something different. Now today is day one, and I want to hear about you. I want to hear about your goals, what your plans are for the week, what techniques you love, what techniques you're scared of. There's a prompt over on my Instagram as well, so check that out. But yeah, today I just want to hear from you. I want to hear about maybe your plans for the week, what you've got planned, what you've got going on. There are lots of wonderful, wonderful creators involved, and I've tagged them all, either their Instagram, YouTube, or both, below for you to go and follow them for this week to see what they will be getting up to as well. Hopefully you can find some inspiration from one of the many creators involved, and I really, really look forward to seeing what you guys make this week, whether it's just a technique or a whole garment. So tomorrow I will start telling you about fabric, the day after pattern, so on and so forth. But today I'm here to introduce myself and my goals for this week, and also to answer a few questions that came in on an Instagram Q&A to celebrate my first year of my account. So let's get going. What are my goals for this week? So I think there are two big things for me. Firstly, I really want to follow along every day with one garment, because I feel like that's a really nice way to challenge myself. So I've picked a fabric I've never sewn with, I've picked a pattern that I've traditionally not been able to buy. I want to consolidate my abilities with certain seam finishing techniques, and there is a closure I don't think I've ever actually done on a garment before. So I'm quite excited to show you guys, to follow along. But my other goal for this week is to make myself a garment that traditionally I've never been able to buy, and you'll hear more about this on day two. But this challenge it's really important to me that the garment I make this week, that I put the effort into to make sure that I really learn these techniques this week and really learn to get to grips with this fabric. But I want to make something I'm really proud of, and I want to make something that I can look back on next year and go, wow, I came so far in my first year, and that's like, I want to commemorate that, and then next year be able to go, you know, make something annually. This is, I think, something I'm going to keep doing annually, making something on the anniversary of my account, because that's really special. But yeah, I want to test myself. I want to see how far I've come. I want to see what I've learned. I want to see if there's anything I still can't do, and make a list of anything I'm struggling with, so I can sort of revisit that, particularly in my quarterly catch-ups as well. It's really important to me that, like, growth and development in my career, in my hobby, in my life in general, those are very important to me. So I want to use this as a chance to explore and see where I'm at, really. So I hope you enjoy following along with my week. I'm really excited. I'm quite nervous, but I'm really, really excited to show you guys what I've been up to. So the other part of introducing myself is, of course, a Q&A for my anniversary of my account. So I've got 5 really, really lovely questions actually that have come through that I'm going to answer quickly in this video as a nice way to introduce anyone who's new to my account, and also to just set us off on a nice foot for my anniversary year. So, a nice one to kick off with, when did you start sewing and how did you learn to sew? I've covered this off in an intro video before, but I'm happy to talk about it again. I started sewing when I was 17 in my gap year, but I really grew up around sewing and sewists. My mum has a degree in costume design from St Martin's, but now Central St Martin's, and that woman can sew anything. Genuinely, she is a really talented sewist. She's very technical, and I can still ring her now to go, oh my god, how do I do this? But also my grandma sews, and again, I grew up with sewing machines around me a lot, and just this idea that even if I couldn't when I was younger, that garments could be made. I was very aware that garments are made with sewing machines, don't just appear in the high street. So I think when I got to the age of 17, and I was quite curvy, and I do mean that genuinely, like, not as a euphemism, I still am, but it really came to a fore when I was 17 where I had a big bust to waist difference, and I was starting to really struggle to buy clothes in high street shops, and I felt it made me feel really alienated and ostracised and sort of frustrated that I couldn't get things that would fit both my bust and my waist. Like, that doesn't seem unreasonable to me, to be able to buy clothes that fit both. But it began to be quite frustrating, and the same with jeans. I have slim calves and a slim waist and bigger hips and thighs, and again I was really struggling to find jeans that fit all of me. So my mum said, well, I can teach you to sew. So we started on a dress. She taught me the basics about, you know, sewing in a straight line. A great tip that I recommend to anyone is if you sew a line on a piece of paper and then pick a fairly heavy needle, obviously, or an old one, and practice sewing in lines along pieces of paper, and then the same on like calico or something, draw lines and practice sewing along them if you're struggling with sewing machine control, because that really helped. But that was pretty much it. My mum taught me to sew in a straight line, and then I kind of just went from there, really. The rest of it I've either read in books, seen tutorials, or pretty much taught myself. I've found sewing to be quite intuitive. Like, I don't know, it just makes sense, I get it. And I'm by no means like an expert, and I am not a very technical sewist, but I'm definitely getting there. Like, I'm getting better. And yeah, I'm really proud of the garments I make now. But sewing something clicks in my brain with sewing, and I find it so relaxing, and it just sort of makes sense, which is the dream. So I'm constantly learning and improving, but my mum is very much the reason I started sewing, and she is still there whenever I get a mental block. Oh, what's my favourite sewing tool? Oh my goodness. This is really hard. So, I mean, if I'm allowed to say my sewing machine, it's my sewing machine. But I think actually my favourite sewing tool is my rolled hem foot. I love it. I love it so much. It is just I hate hemming things. As many of you who will watch my channel for a while know, I really hate hemming things. So being able to do perfect rolled hems straight off the bat is like such a win, and they're so beautiful when they come out. I love them so much. So yeah, definitely my rolled hem foot. I got it from the Singer outlet to go with my machine, and I think I have a 1mm, is it? No, it's a 10mm foot, there we go. There's a 10mm one, but I think I'd like to get a smaller one as well for really, really tiny pin hems on sleeves. But yeah, definitely I think my rolled hem foot. So what has my favourite make been in my first year and what made me start sewing? So I've already covered off what made me start sewing. I will say though, just to add to that, what made me pick up sewing again properly was my partner suggested a couple of years ago when I was struggling with work stress that my mum could send my sewing machine down to me, which she gladly did. So I started sewing more, and then in the pandemic it really gave me enough work-life balance to actually start sewing more and sewing more technically and expanding my garment horizons, so I should just tack that onto there. So my favourite make in my first year, that's actually quite hard because there are so many things I've made this year that I love. But it has to be said actually, I'm tied with a very recent make, which is my Closet Core Mile End hoodie, which I love because it doesn't look like I made it. It's still, I look at it every time I put it on and I'm still, it's quite emotional, I'm still baffled that I actually made that and it came off my sewing machine. So it has to be tied between that and probably, I think probably that and my Eden coat. Because again, I get the same feeling where I put it on and I go, did I really make this? This is a real coat. Did I do this? And I did. And I think that's a lovely feeling actually, because it makes me realise that, I don't know, maybe I've come further than I thought I had. And that's a really good feeling. Oh, what is something I plan to learn or make this year that I've not got to yet? So, jeans. Dawn, the Megan Nielsen Dawn jeans are on my list and have been on my list for a while, and I have some very expensive denim to make them that I was given, and I am so terrified and so nervous to ruin that denim that I'm kind of scared to start. Also, I don't have the time right now to go through the toiling process necessary for jeans, and I will toile them because jeans are one of those things that there is no stretch in the denim I'm using, so they need to fit properly. So yeah, they're on my list, they're on my make 9. I do want to do them this year, but I've put them on pause until I've started my new job, and probably August, September time, because I don't really need them till it gets colder anyway. So I might just leave it and focus on some other things and then try and get them done in autumn of this year. That sounds so like I'm procrastinating, and you know what? I definitely am. So I will do my jeans. One idea I had is that I might do a whole month focusing on my jeans and do like a weekly video. So like 4 weeks, and hopefully that will spur me on to just work on my jeans for a month and get them done and like produce something I'm really happy with. If that's something you'd be interested in seeing, let me know below. The other thing that I've planned to make this year is a bra. I've got everything to do it. I just need time and mental space, because although I don't find construction that difficult, it's fiddly. And I know lots of you have asked me for a video on bra making, which I will happily provide. I'm just really at the moment trying to figure out how to film it so that what I'm doing is actually visible on camera. So it is coming, I promise. I'm just trying to figure out camera angles and things at the moment. So fingers crossed, I'll be showing that with you guys very soon. So the final question in the nice little, I want to keep it fairly short because Q&As can go on forever and ever, and I want this to be a nice little kind of intro video. But the final question's really sweet, and it's, who inspires you to be so positive? And it's a really sweet question because I really don't feel like I am. I don't feel like I'm very positive all the time. I try to be, in the sense of, I try to be, I think pragmatic's probably a good word. I try to just get on with things. And I think the sewing community sees a very positive side of me because it's my hobby and I'm enjoying myself. I'm having a great time. So there's no kind of obstacles that are insurmountable. Because it's my hobby at the end of the day. So it's not like, I think I'd probably be less positive if I was paid to sew. But it's definitely, I think, doing what I love. So I'm very positive at work when I'm actually getting to run events, and like I'm so positive about my new job because I'm excited and I'm doing what I love doing. I'm very lucky, I love my job. So that really helps. But there are definitely days when I'm not very positive. I think just, I guess, remembering that this is something that I do because I love it. I really enjoy vlogging. I enjoy blogging. I enjoy sewing. Everything about it is great. I don't find the online community intensely stressful or anything. You're all really lovely. If anyone is less than lovely, and obviously you do get the odd message, they can go away. It says more about them than it does about me. I'm here to sew and to tell you guys about sewing, and it's, you know, if you guys want to listen to me talk about sewing, I'm here. And I would also say that I do have like severe asthma and very severe allergies, so when I think you have slightly more severe health stuff happening, it does put things in perspective a little bit, because I love sewing and there will be days that I talk to you guys about sewing where I can't breathe very well. So those days definitely I'm like, well, I'm feeling really breathless. I just want to sit and do something I enjoy doing, because, you know, I'm not always there to be able to run around or walk around and do stuff like that. So it means the world to me to have a hobby I can do when I'm breathless, or I can do when I've been in hospital, and that matters a lot to me. So yeah, I think that helps with a sense of perspective. But you guys definitely do see a more positive bit of me. Like, please remember, if you're watching this, that social media and YouTube and blogs and vlogs generally tend to be the best 10% of somebody's life. So while I would say I'm generally a pretty happy person, I've got pretty much everything I want at the moment, I'm very happy, I'm in a good place, do remember that everybody you see on here and on Instagram has their down days, everybody has their great days, everyone has their really good makes, everyone, including me, has makes that you make and you go, I hate that and I don't know why, I've done it right, but I hate it. Or you have makes that don't work. And that's completely normal and completely fine. The trick is to just remember, at the end of the day, it is your hobby. And I know it's frustrating when things don't work out, but there is a lovely, positive community of sewists out there ready to celebrate your failures and celebrate your successes. We are all here for each other, and that definitely helps me be positive, and I hope it helps you too. So, without further ado, let the Sew New in June challenge commence. I am very excited to see all of your wonderful makes, wonderful engagements, techniques, fabrics, anything you're doing. Tell me about it, I want to know. Just a word on entering. There is a lovely giveaway associated with this, with prizes from Size Me Sewing, So Much More, The Rag Shop, Lush Cloth and Stitchcraft UK. So head over to Instagram to enter that giveaway. If you want to enter, basically you have to tag me on at least one of the days of the challenge this week and show me how you're engaging with the prompt that day, and I will then draw the giveaway winners next week. And head over to Instagram to check out the wonderful prizes on offer, and follow all of my creators below, my lovely collaborators, and check out what they are getting up to this week. So thank you all so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you every day this week for the first time in a while. And yeah, I really hope you enjoy the challenge. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.